Welcome to the Brass and Woodwind Shop. I finished the upper joint of the contrabass clarinet, and now I have to do the lower joint. The lower joint has about double the keys and levers of the upper joint. Before I take this apart, I want to show you a few things about it. Because the instrument is so long, where you put your fingers has nothing to do with where the keys are on the instrument like it does on a regular B-flat clarinet. On the B-flat clarinet, the three fingers go easily over the holes, but on a contrabass clarinet, since it's 4 times longer, your fingers cannot get anywhere near to it. So this one operates this key. The middle finger operates the key that's actually right underneath it. Then this finger operates this key, and this right here is like the B-flat F bis key. So this little section on a B-flat clarinet goes all the way from here to here on a contrabass clarinet. And also the G-D key right here, there's a connector that goes all the way up to here, and it goes up to the upper joint and connects to this key, and that's a rocker that switches which keys are open on the top. So the key all the way down here controls something about 3 feet above it. The B-flat clarinet has nothing like that on it. And also there's an extra pinky tab on the contrabass clarinet. And also, since the B-flat clarinet is straight, it just needs to operate those 4 keys right here. This part of the clarinet, instead of pointing down, curves around. So these keys actually have to control above where they are. So there are a lot of linkages here that connect different things. So the lower note mechanism is a lot more complicated on this one than on a regular B-flat clarinet. Another interesting thing is on a B-flat clarinet, the joints come apart between the left hand and the right hand. On this instrument, from about here up would be synonymous with between here and here on the clarinet. The contrabass clarinet does not have 3 of the side keys. It does have the side B-flat E-flat key, which is right here, and that would be synonymous with this key on the clarinet. Now I'm going to get started on taking this apart. The notes that I made for the upper joint helped a lot, so I'm going to make the notes again for the lower joint. I'm not going to make you watch me take apart this whole thing, but if anything interesting happens along the way, I will turn on the camera. I got all of the keys off, and here are my notes, and hopefully I can figure it out when it comes time to put that back together. Now I'm going to take off all of the pads and the key corks, and if you want to see more of me working on the instrument, watch the other video with me working on the upper joint, because I was a lot more extensive in that video than I'm going to be in this video, because you've already basically seen me repad the clarinet. I just need to do the upper joint now, which is going to be a lot like the lower joint. I've been working on the clarinet for quite a while without incident. You can see that I have a lot of the keys and levers on here. I ran into something that kind of interesting here. When I push down the E-flat lever, both the E-flat key and the EB key are supposed to close, but neither of them close. A lot of times, like, one can be out of adjustment, but this is not an adjustment issue. So when you have a problem like this, there has to be something that is causing the problem. It just doesn't happen just for no reason. There has to be a reason why. So if I push these two down separately, they work fine. So I followed the mechanism through here, and I figured out what it is right here. The E-flat lever transfers to an E-flat rocker, which goes to the E-flat key. But what's happening is when this is going down, I'll hold it so you can see it. When this one goes down, it is running into the E-flat key. So right there. So what I'm going to have to do is take the rocker off and then file down a little bit of the end of that, and then that will not hit, and then those keys should close fine. So that is it's an unusual thing to happen, but things like that do happen. You just have to be ready for them. And takeaway from this is, if something does not work, there is a reason. Because if you didn't figure that out, you'd say, oh, I guess this They don't close, but if you push down hard enough, you can get it to close. You don't want the player to have to push down hard while playing the instrument, so I'm going to fix that, and that will solve the problem. So I have to pull out the hinge rod to get at the rocker. And there are 3 rockers on this one hinge rod. Okay, I'm going to file part of that off. That should do it. So I'm going to try it again. Okay. So I'm pushing down lightly and both of those keys close together like they should. So that solved the problem. It is a few days later and I'm finally done putting this together and I got everything adjusted, or at least I got the lower joint adjusted. There are 2 keys that go from the lower joint to the upper joint that I still need to adjust. I'm going to put this together in just a few minutes and finish adjusting that. This was very difficult to work on because all of these keys here, they go from a lever to a rocker and then to the key. And there are several of those. There are actually 5 of those right in this cluster. And a lot of them are connected to the pinky keys up here. So you need to make sure that like everything is working exactly the way it's supposed to, or it's not going to work at all. And I counted on 2 of the keys. If you push down the one key, it activates 9 other keys or levers. And there were 2 of those that did that. And then there are several others that activate several other keys, but not quite 9. So there are adjustments all over this that need to be perfect. And there's one key, this one right here, the low D key, that activates 4 keys, and they all need to close at the same time. And it also goes around down to here and then back up to here to activate those. So it's a very complicated mechanism. But you can figure it out if you just follow the keys, see where they go, see what activates what, and you can just follow the mechanism to what closes what. And if 2 keys need to close at the same time, you just need to make sure that you sand cork or adjust keys in such a way so that they both close at the same time. And then you just work your way down the instrument. And if you keep doing that, eventually you'll get the whole thing in adjustment. And now I'm going to put this together and finish up the other 2 adjustments. 2 adjustments might not sound like a lot, but there are several keys that go into that. This is an interesting setup here. It's synonymous on the B-flat clarinet with the right-hand ring key and then the left-hand ring key and also the chimney. There's no key on the B-flat clarinet, you just put your finger over the hole. On this clarinet, if you push down either one of these keys, it also closes this key, and then it activates this little bar here. And this is just a free floating piece. And it has a spring on it, but the spring is just to keep it down so that it doesn't go flopping up. Either of these 2 keys activate this bar, and also these 2 keys also activate it too. So if you push down any one of those keys, this bar will go up, and then it will go onto the upper joint. That will activate this key. I think that's called the A-D bis key. And it is synonymous with this key, the ring key on the clarinet. For the B-flat clarinet, where you just have 2 keys and then there's the one adjustment in between, on this you have several keys and then it goes to the other joint, and you have several adjustments and regulations on this section. Now I'm going to put the upper and lower joints together and make those adjustments. Got to line it up, and there is something to help me line it up. Now the moment I've finally been waiting for. It's time to play test this thing. And I do have a contrabass clarinet reed. I have not used it in probably over a decade, but I do have one. I did have to borrow the customer's mouthpiece. I did ask permission. I cleaned it up first. I'm going to clean it up when I'm done. Usually I do not use the customer's mouthpiece. I use my own, but I do not own a contrabass clarinet mouthpiece. Now it's time to make some noise on this thing. I am a trumpet player and not a contrabass clarinetist, so this probably will not sound the best, but I'll do as good as I can. And that's the lowest note that this thing can get. Okay, well, that was beautiful. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe for more band instrument repair videos.